I think this is the best crowd I ever had. So quiet every time I get up, quiet. So yeah, the best class, best guest. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the National Sports School Summer Graduation Ceremony. A special welcome to those people who are joining tonight on YouTube. Whether you're a friend, family, colleague, supporter, thank to be here tonight to share in this important milestone with our soon-to-be graduates. My name is Luca Campello. I have the honor to serving as a president of National Sports School. And now the formality has been done. We turn into the true highlight of the evening, honoring the hard work, the dedication, and the accomplishment of the soon-to-be graduates. To our graduates, take a moment to consider where you started and where you are right now. Flight test is a very demanding and methodical work. Over this month, you have learned how to test aircraft systems, you run test program, you deal with situation when the answer is not known in advance. The task is to approach the unknown in a disciplinary way, to plan carefully, gather data precisely, draw some conclusion, and sometimes in order to make future tester and operator to operate effectively and safely. This is a profound responsibility. It cannot be carried by talent alone. What we try to give you is just more than knowledge. Knowledge, always look it up. What we have worked to build you is something harder. The discipline to prepare thoroughly beneath the preparation sometimes is very tedious. The humility to respect what you don't know and you don't understand. The judgment to make decisions when the information are incomplete and the consequences are real. The honesty to report what the data really say and not what people hope to hear. These are habits that you should be guarded all the time. Remember too that you do not ride here alone. You will not succeed alone. Beyond every flight you flew, student instructor that push you every day. Maintainers who make sure that all aircraft always be ready and safe. And staff who quietly made the difficult looks routine. Now you're a part of a community, part of the family, that stretch back through every pilot and engineer who advanced this profession, often at a great cost. Honor them by how you carry the work forward. Graduation tonight is not the end of your training. It's just the beginning of the accountability. From this point forward, your analysis, your recommendation, your decision will carry weight. People will listen to you. They will trust you. The trust that we always will be earned and always be protected. Finally, I want to thank you all, your graduates. A school like ours does not stand still and must move forward thanks to you, all your students. Your question always sharpen our teaching. The standard you set for yourself raise our standards. The seriousness of energy and the energy you put on every breath, flight, debriefing make NTPS a better place to learn and to teach. You are a vital part of our growth, and we are very thankful for everything you did and to bring to everything you did for the NTPS mission. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you very much for your support to NTPS. Now I'd like to introduce you to our guest speaker tonight, Ms. Kelly Latimer, and you can find the full biography or partial biography on the backside of the program. I'll give you a some highlights of her impressive career. Kelly began a career in the United States Air Force, joined the academy in graduated in 1987 with BS in astronautical engineer, followed by an NMS in astronautics for George Washington University. She served the U.S. Air Force for almost 20 years, during which time she was a high-performance jet instructor pilot, aircraft commander, light jet instructor, including several missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. She graduated from U.S. Test Pilot School, and she finished her career in the Air Force as a squadron commander of the 412 Flight Test Squadron at Edwards Air Force Base. After the Air Force, Kelly flew as experimental test pilot first at NASA, Armstrong Flight Research Center, then at the Boeing Company. She then decided to join the Virgin Galactic as a test pilot and also a director of operation of the spaceport in New Mexico. At Virgin, she flew the VMS Eve in numerous spaceship drops, and also she had the chance to fly the Special 2 VSS Unity for 3 suborbital commercial space flights. Also, she found the time to be in charge of Launcher One program at Virgin. She flew over 50 type of aircraft, and she has more than 7,000 hours of flight. She's currently the president of the Society of Experimental Test Pilots and she's a member of NTPS board. Well, Kelly Olson. Hopefully I don't make it.
That's right. Do I just close out of this one? All right. 1 second while we get the technicals going. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, there we go. So first of all, congratulations, a huge congratulations to all of the graduates here tonight. It was quite some time ago that I was sitting in that seat myself, and you just have no idea what your future holds, programs you're going to see. You know, I look back over 20 years of test flying, and each program is different. Each airplane is different. Each holds a little place in your heart, a little place in your soul. The people you work with, you never forget. But every now and then you have that opportunity to fly something that is, you know, truly spectacular. And you find yourself going, how am I lucky enough to be here to get to do that? So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, because mine was to get to fly the Spaceship too. I mean, it was this most, you know, people say, what was it like to fly the Spaceship? And I, you know, all I can say is it was like the single most incredible thing that I'll ever do and see, you know, those few flights. And a lot of times we come to these symposiums and we talk about the technical aspect, you know, what went wrong, you know, what went right, you know, what to fix, but we don't really talk about what was it like what were you feeling? What were you thinking as you went through this? So I'm going to take you through a flight, kind of describe it, talk about, you know, sort of what I felt, what I saw as the flight unfolds, and same thing for the people we had in the back. And then I'll show a video and that will be good. Me, yay. So this is, we call this the space flight system. So essentially the way Virgin does it is an airborne sort of a captive carry. So there's a mothership, 2 fuselages. It carries the spaceship up to an altitude, heads towards the landing runway, drops the spaceship. Spaceship lights a rocket motor, zooms out of the atmosphere up to 50 miles. People in strap in the back float around. We rotate around, see the planet, come back down, go back to being like a regular glider, and come in and land. So the whole operation takes off and lands from a normal airfield. You don't need a vertical launch pad or anything like that. So the whole concept was to make this pretty simple and repeatable and affordable. So part of it is the fact that you can keep reusing a lot of these. And so when this concept came out, there was no SpaceX landing their first stage or anything. I mean, everything pretty much was a one-time use. So the idea of this is, hey, you can bring the mothership back. You can use the spaceship again and again. So again, it makes it very simple, very affordable, and you can do kind of rapid operations again and again. So this is the mothership, Eve. Basically, there's 2 fuselages. Everyone always asks, the 2 pilots sit in separate fuselages, and you can't reach over and slap your co-pilot if you're in different fuselage. So we sit next to each other. So everything is actually in the right fuselage, and the left one is empty. It's not even pressurized. It's just pretty much an aerodynamic and mass structure. And what you see in there that looks like windows is actually just black painting. There aren't even any windows over there. So, and then there's the spaceship itself. So the big thing about the spaceship is it's a hybrid motor. So it's both like a solid and a liquid. And the big deal there is a solid rocket motor gives you the biggest bang for the buck. So you get the most, you know, for the weight you're carrying, it gives you the best thrust. But when you launch a solid rocket, the only way to stop it is to explode it. So that's not a good marketing sale pitch. So we went with a hybrid where we used both the liquid and the solid, so we could shut the motor off at any point by just shutting off the liquid to it. So we still get the advantage of the solid, but have the controllability of having a liquid rocket. All right, so here's the profile just in brief. So the mothership takes off, kind of climbs in this circular orbit, goes up about 25 miles or so north of the airfield, about 45,000 feet, drops the spaceship. Spaceship lights the rocket motor, goes up, and at the top you can see we do this thing called feathering the boom. So there's two booms in the back that go to the tail. That actually rotates 90 degrees up. And we do that once we're out of the atmosphere. And the reason for that is that's the way the vehicle re-enters. It kind of comes down like a birdie. It basically comes down sort of 90 degrees and just floats right on in through the atmosphere. Okay, so what is it actually like? So when you get ready for these things, there isn't a whole lot of practice in the vehicle, right? We have simulators, they're no motion. And so we practice again and again and again. And there's all these checklists. So this view is actually just looking out the back of the spaceship with the camera, and you see the tails of the mothership back there. It's about a 45-minute flight up. And so in that 45 minutes, we have checklists that we run. So you're about 20 minutes out, we start doing some things, changing some systems, checking some valves. 10 minutes out, we start pressurizing some things, coming off the electric system from the mothership, checking a few more things. Then there's the 4-minute check. So as we do these simulators, we do this profile hundreds and hundreds of times. And then you find yourself actually in the vehicle. And you're like, L-10 check complete. And it's like, wow. L-4 check is like the last one we do. And we open up the last valves and do the last checks before it's, you're clear to release. So we're like, L-4 check complete. And in the back of your mind, of course, on the radio, you're like, Roger, check complete. And everyone's really calm about it. But in your mind, you're like, oh my God, like they are actually going to drop us, and we are going to light this rocket motor, go supersonic, turn the corner, and blast out of the atmosphere, like literally in 2 minutes, And so just that thought. And so all you're doing as a pilot, you're just like, just do it like the sim, just keep it, just keep it calm, just keep doing your thing. But in the back of your mind, that, then there's 1 minute. 1 minute, and we are going to do this thing. 30 seconds. And then you get to the drop. So the drop, the pilot goes full forward on the stick, and that's to make sure that we have good separation. So when the drop happens, two things happen. The mothership loses half her weight. So the mothership immediately does a 2G pull. So the mothership almost bounces off the spaceship, goes up and off to the right. In the spaceship, you get this sort of roller coaster type drop. And then the next thing you do is light the rocket motor. And it is the absolute most mind-blowing, insane acceleration anybody who's been in this vehicle and flown anything has felt. It is 70,000 pounds of thrust immediately straight out. It's a 3.5G acceleration forward. And so as the pilot, you're pretty much sort of tucked in, and there's a lot of vibration, and you can hear it, and you're sort of tucked in, reading the displays and everything, but you can sense that you're going faster and faster. And it's not just the same acceleration, because as we're burning fuel, we're getting lighter, but the thrust is the same. So our acceleration is increasing. So basically, as the pilot, you go full forward, you come back neutral, you call fire, you get the most ridiculous thrust, you're screaming through the sky, you're just holding it steady to get past supersonic, run the trim, and then the vehicle turns 90 degrees. So basically, have a set trim, the vehicle goes up, you get one chance to reset it, then you pretty much got what you got, until the next call at about Mach 2. So we're supersonic on our backs, accelerating faster and faster and faster as we're burning fuel and still going out of the atmosphere. And it's just the craziest sensation. And then the next thing you notice is out of the windows, because there's windows all across the top and along this, for the pilots, it's all across their front, but in the windows, you see the blue sky. It's like this light blue starts to filter away, this deep blue comes in, and then it's just like this black curtain comes down over everything. And so you're accelerating like crazy still, rocket motor's still going, and it's just pitch black. It's just a void. It's just, there's nothing out there. Then the rocket motor shuts off. And at that point, you get zero gravity. The vehicle is still going up, but it actually was a very gentle, shutdown of the motor. So we're busy running things. So at that point, the pilot makes sure the vehicle's stable. We call unstrapped. Everyone in the back now is unstrapped. They're floating around, floating up by the windows, but it's still, you're just looking out at this blackness of just nothingness out there. And then we feather the booms. And when we feather the booms, that's when we roll them up 90 degrees. What really happens is the fuselage starts to roll over. So the fuselage comes over, and we have these, a reaction control system. We can control the attitude. It just takes a couple of bursts, but in this blackness, as you're floating around zero gravity, the planet comes into view, like from behind your head, And it's like the most brilliant, beautiful, crystal clear thing that I'll ever see. I mean, it's just against the blackness of the sky, it is magnificent. I mean, it just glows, it shines. You can see the little eggshell of atmosphere that keeps us alive. And you're just like, that's it. I thought it'd be a little bit thicker. So you just see the little atmosphere. And everyone still is enjoying the view in the back and everything. So at this point, we're rolled over, but the vehicle is still going up and down. And you really have, from the point the rocket motor shuts off, you really have no sense looking outside that you're going up or down. And we can tell because we got a display. But if you're just looking outside, you feel like you're just floating in one spot, looking down at like the most beautiful thing you'll ever see. And as the vehicle starts to come back down again, we have a timer. And as we start getting close to the atmosphere, we roll the vehicle back around, have everybody get in their seats, strap in, and then we start coming back down through the atmosphere. And that's the next piece was really interesting to me, that you sort of had this very serene experience. And when we get up there, we also turn all the fans off. So when you're having this kind of epiphany of looking outside, space, the planet, all that, it's very, very quiet inside. No one's really talking. No one's doing everything. Everyone's just taking in the moment and the view. And then as you start to come back down in, you get the real sense of you are now coming back into reality, because there's like the rush of the air coming over the vehicle. It vibrates like crazy. The nose is hunting around. And the first time I flew a CJ Sturkow, I remember the nose just kind of hunts around and it was really vibrating. I looked over at him and I was like, well, he doesn't look terrified, so I guess this must be how it is. But it was just a crazy ride. And you go from 0 G's to like 3.5 G's in a pretty quick time. And then as we get lower, the G tends to go away. The vehicle settles out to like a standard descent rate. We get down to where there's enough air for us to fly again. We defeather, we become a glider, and then we have this sort of energy management thing where you come in, and land the vehicle. But it's funny because this experience, you just have this mind-blowing acceleration shooting out of the atmosphere like a bullet out of a gun, seeing the planet all of a sudden. You were under an airplane 1 minute, and literally 90 seconds later, you're looking down at the planet. There's crazy reentry. You're like, okay, now we just got to land it. so you're kind of going through all your sim training and everything. And again, it's all that like trying to keep everything, calm and just focus on what you're doing. But like inside, you just know everything that happens. So it's just the craziest sensation, because this entire thing takes like 20 minutes. So we come in and land, and then there's big celebrations. And of course, none of this is done alone. There's an entire control room that's going through this experience with you. So we have a full control room in there. This was we had been down for 2 years. This was our first Unity back to space. We went out and bought a bunch of foam fingers and had them out everywhere. And the place we fly out of, Gateway to Space, this is the other part of it, is the family and friends aspect, and the experience, especially for the customers, this is the ride of their life. It's like the experience that they have waited their whole lives to have, and we just gave it to them, and they have friends and family there. So this facility was built in order to support that. Like, it's got these glass windows, so when you're in it and you look outside, you have this view of like, ground to space and back down. And so the whole thing is kind of designed to give that feel as you come in and your loved one, or you're the one, goes for this ride, and you come back down to earth and you kind of walk back out the front. So it was really, really a beautiful facility, really well done. There's a whole setup area at the bottom. So friends and family come for this day, and there's, food, drinks, everything laid out. But what's really cool is when the flight is getting ready to happen, everyone's standing there and they kind of clear a corridor, and we call it the hero's walk. And so everyone who's going on the vehicle in the back comes walking out through this little kind of gantry way between all their family and friends, and everyone's screaming and clapping and high-fiving, and they go out, get in the vehicles, drive out to the spaceship, get in, and then everybody walks outside, because you can watch the vehicles take off right there at the runway. Not only that, but from outside, when they get ready to drop, you can actually see the spaceship drop, see the rocket motor light, and see the vehicle all the way up until the rocket motor cuts off. And everyone's just cheering and screaming, and it's so emotional. And then at the end, they come back and land on that same runway, tow the vehicle right out. They get out of the spaceship, and everyone just comes running up and hugs them. And so the whole week they're out there is like this crazy emotional ride of getting there and prepping and training. And then you have this 20-minute unreal experience and you come right back into where your friends and family are. So it was just, the whole thing was this emotional roller coaster. And I just thought we did extremely well. And it's just, I'll never forget any one of those flights or any of the people that I flew with. And just as a side note, so we have an extra 300 in Gamebird, and so we'll actually fly these. So the aerial footage you see is normally from the extra the Gamebird chasing. And so what's funny is when you're out there, like friends and family are watching, you can't, like spaceship, it's a glider, it's not making any noise, but the extra tends to be like max performing to try and catch the spaceship, because the whole rejoin is generally a fiasco because the spaceship's coming in at a pretty high airspeed, and depending on if they're high or low on energy, they can be ducking under, going pretty fast. So you hear the extra like, Meh! So like there's this great experience, and at the end there's like this gnarly bumblebee kind of sound, this extra coming in. So that always cracks me up. Anyways, and a lot of times we would fly the FTEs in the front of this too to get the photos and the video. And we would use it also for the pilots, because obviously you don't fly the spaceship other than on a mission. So we would use the extra for like G's, you know, positive, negative, to do upset training, spins, inverted spins, and that type of stuff. And then I'm going to go to a video after this. So the video I'm going to show is from this flight here. This was our first flight, the first flight back with people in the back. And so the company wanted to use company people. So they chose, this is Jamila. So Jamila is a local from Las Cruces. She was born and raised there, went to school there. She's one of our communications people, does a lot of STEM work. And they thought, who better than her? So when she's talking to the kids, she's like, I flew to space, and this is what it was like. And then the other one, we want to get an engineer. So Chewy was one of our structural engineers, long time in the company. So he got to go. And so this video you're going to see is the two of them, but we had some great pictures because they just, and none of these were staged. They just end up kind of floating back there next to each other. And this one's kind of an iconic one because this is from a camera. This isn't like a put together photo. This is a camera is looking out a window, and you see that view of the Earth. They're seeing that same window at the window behind. So this picture sort of captures what they're looking at and them kind of looking at a different window at that same view. Very cool. All right, next will be the video, and it's going to kind of just walk through the flights. And this picture here was Beth Moses. This was my first flight. Beth just took this low fidelity from her phone in the back. That was like the view. So you know what I would you know what I think of when I look out here is I think, you know, so when I was sitting in those seats graduating, this wasn't a thing. There was no commercial space. There was no SpaceX. There wasn't eVTOL. No one was flying, you know, any passengers anywhere to space. And so I just think, you know, you all sitting here today, in the next 20, 30 years, I mean, you're going to be engineering, you're going to be developing, you're going to be testing, operating, flying vehicles we haven't even thought of yet. I mean, how exciting is that? So I'm super excited for all of you. Again, big congratulations. I know it's a huge amount of effort and work to get through this program, and you deserve all the accolades you're getting here tonight. And also thank you to the NTPS staff, world-class staff and leadership. None of this happens without all of you. So thank you all for that. And I am proud to be one of the first to welcome our new graduates into the Worldwide Fraternity of Flight Test. And it is a smaller group than you think it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the great to share with us the experience hopefully now you are more motivated than before. If you don't know enough now, there's something more challenging. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
So now I would like to ask Mr. Matteo Brambilla, our chief flight instructor, and our Mr. Damien Isher to come here as our fixed wing test pilot instructor to join me here on the. So that's the moment of the graduation. So each graduate will be receiving a professional course graduate plaque and a certificate of testing their qualification as a test pilot flight test engineer. Professional course with graduates with achieving an outstanding level of accomplishment can be awarded with a distinguished graduate standing. To be in distinguished graduate, you must be on the top of your graduating class. You must have a GPA of 90%. And you must also demonstrate outstanding comprehension of flight testing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the graduation of 2025 Bravo Test Pilot and Lead Flight Test Engineer. So, Ms. Katrina van Schwanzenberg, WT61, Rotary Wing Flight Test Engineer. Please join us. I think Matteo didn't know yours very well.
You came in on the wrong side, that's why.
It's Matteo's fault.
It's always my fault.
First Lieutenant Dario Gabutti, Italian Air Force, Fixed Wing Flight Test Engineering, distinguished graduate. First Lieutenant Carlo Portosalvo, Italian Air Force, Fixed Wing Flight Test Engineering. Commander Siva Prasad, Indian Navy, Rotary Wing Flight Test Engineer. Ms. Olivia Grace May, NTPS Graduate Assistant, Fixed Wing Flight Test Engineer. third one. Mr. Greg Rush Leonard, Leonardo Pezetel Swinnick, IASA Carry 1 Bridge Course Test Pilot. Rotary wing. Thank you. Thank you, Mattel. Well, formation. I would like to invite here on the stage Mr. Vikram Sharma. He's our Chief Theoretical Knowledge Instructor and Chief of System for our Master of Science Diploma presentation. Ms. Katrina van Schwanzenberg, Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering. First Lieutenant Dario Gabutti, Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering. First Lieutenant Carlo Portosalvo, Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering. Commander Siva Prasad, Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering. Thank you, Vikram. We have several graduate in absentia, so we're gonna go through. We have the IASA Category 1 Flight Test Course, Fixed Wing. Mr. Johan Bergersen from Saab was a fixed wing flight test pilot. IASA Category 1 Flight Test Course, Rotary Wing. We have Mr. Paolo Tamponelli, Leonardo Helicopters, Rotary Wing Flight Test Engineering, and Mr. Giovanni Klinka, Leonardo Helicopters, Rotary Wing Flight Test Engineering. IASA Category 1 Bridge Course Fixed Wing, Mr. Tommy Scholar from Saab, Fixed Wing Test Pilot, and Mr. Ingo Sturman from Fixed Wing Test Pilot. Certificate of Attendance and Performance Flying Quality, Professional Course Rotary Wing for Major Tristan Andrew Acting for Australian Army Rotary Wing Flight Test Engineer. I think the Australian just got out, woke up. there were 3 Master Diploma in Absentia, 1 Bergersen Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering, Paolo Timponelli Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering, and Giovanni Klinka for Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering. Well, graduates of class 25 Bravo, please stand up. Don't be shy. Well, I think that they deserve a big round of applause. Make them shy, make them in red. Jeff, if you can join me. Now it's time to present a Roddy Bradley Award for Outstanding Flight Test Engineering Graduate. This award is in addition to the academic and flying achievement. We consider no graduating factor like judgment, professionalism, and attitude. The Ron Bradley Award goes to First Lieutenant Dario Gabutti. Dario, it's your turn. Just make you uncomfortable. You don't need the paper, no? So Dario now will give some remarks from our graduation class.
Distinguished guests, NTPS leadership and staff, instructors, colleagues from the senior and junior class, and most importantly, our families, loved ones, and friends. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dario, a student flight test engineer for the 2025 Bravo, with a quite questionable accent, the Australian will tell. And I'm honored to stand here today at the end of our journey. Looking at all of you is like rereading an important chapter of our professional lives. I'm not going to say how fast the time went by. There's no correct answer to this because, as any tester knows, it depends. You can try to ask Carlo how fast the civil certification lectures were. But we all look back on this with affection and satisfaction, with absolutely no consequences on our mental health. And nobody, I ensure nobody, said me to say that. So we landed in this country more than 1 year ago now, safe and warm, very warm. A Californian dream of golden sands and Joshua trees, and bushes, and sand, and bushes. Yeah, probably a lot of sand and bushes. A team of proficient racers on Highway 14 from the very first days, because being on time, Damien, is a skill that requires zero talent. So, as in that road has been our table for delicious breakfasts with a last-minute exam or data card review as a side. We soon learned that it wasn't even close to be our survival kit. Background, preparation, math, and flying skills. Every confidence quickly faded away to teach us from the beginning that we were far away from the very basis of flight test. We learned that this is a world where answers are never straightforward and are built step by step, right from the planning phase. For us, this journey really sounded like a test, and so there is only one way to properly describe it. The objective of this test was to learn how to tell that the baby was ugly. The test points were performed in accordance with all 160 chapters of the Mystical Volume 10, employing thousands of gallons of espresso to reach the required confidence level. Pilot's comments and unconventional sounds, sorry, Johan, were recorded and properly translated. The test was conducted in Mojave Air and Spaceport for 15 months straight, with cockpit temperatures well above ISA level, and quite a bit of gusting wind, just enough to lift Kathy from the ground. And at this point, we cannot ignore the imposed constraints and limitations. First of all, daytime VNC, the holy words for every report and presentation. Second, being on condition was paramount. And I'm not talking about the test points. We spent days building test cards, reviewing data, refining reports, and occasionally wondering if we were overthinking, only to know that, yes, we were. Third, the magical schedule. Not checking the flight schedule before going to bed was probably the biggest mistake a student could do. And last but not least, 4 Italians in the same room. Yeah, but at the end, even Fudge understood that a flight tester should accept some risks. Analyzing the results, well, for sure the baby was ugly. And to be able to say it, we learned that teamwork is the key. We shared not only data and test cards, but hundreds of days of experience. And as you saw before on the slideshow that was running on the screens, we are more friends than colleagues. But this is just the beginning. There is no conclusion to this test. And so, sorry, instructors, I would directly jump to the recommendations. And finally, after more than a year, I recommend further testing during our coming careers. And that's a true satisfaction. And now, after such a poorly written 7-part paragraph, as a class, we would like to express our gratitude to all who have made this journey possible. First, to the backbone of every test sortie, the maintenance staff. Thank you for keeping us safe at every flight with your dedication and hard work, for setting up all the ballasts and instrumentation, and for dealing with the consequences of some hard landing in Cal City. Simply put, without you, there's no flight test. To Jeff, Luca, and Hooter, managers and experienced instructors at the same time, we are grateful for your professionalism and willingness, and you kept this complex machine alive for the entire year, so thank you very much. To Bree, Diane, Jennifer, and Veronica, thank you for cheering us up every morning with a smile and helping us with all the logistics. Moving to another country and at the same time facing the chaos of just such an intense course wouldn't have been possible without your support. To Maria, the sorcerer behind the magic of the flight schedule. Thank you for always giving us good news about a brand new 6:30 briefing the day after, and at the same time for accommodating our commitments. Thank you. To Josh, thank you for your life support at 360 degrees. Always there to keep us safe and for a first bump at every first flight. The only man who knows what is inside those red backpacks. to all the GAs, Olivia, Colin, Christian, Steph, Kayla, Ruani, and the new one, Edison, for being classmates and support at the same time. The undisputed sovereign of GoPros and 4-flight iPads. Thank you for your patience. Now to the instructors, victims and perpetrators of this madness. Fudge, a bottomless tank of war stories. Thank you for teaching us more than we ever expected or wanted to. Then Matteo, experienced instructor and tug driver when we needed. Yes, somebody remembers the Kodiak, Matteo. And you showed us how briefing, flight, debriefing, artistic sketches, and complex discussions about the real estate market, which is an important part, can be done in a short time of an espresso of 2. In one word, cool. JK, professional and patient. Thank you for emphasizing every day that the most important aspect of flight test is being safe. We will all take your lessons with us during our professional lives. Thank you. Vikrant, simplistically, the backbone of the entire systems course. You gave us the right instruments and amount of caffeine required to conduct an effective test. Thanks to you, we all know we passed. Damian, you showed us how to face every challenge with sugar-free logic and calm. Starting from the stall characteristics of the King Air and moving on to the best technique for crack climbing at Lone Pine. Thanks to you, we all know there was not an holiday camp. Pedro, thank you for giving us a very, very deep insight into the physics behind what we were testing. With your 5 or 8 or 10 languages, whatever, you made everybody feel at home. Yeah, because in the end, it's exactly the same as Portuguese. Brian, thank you for always teaching us to think outside the box and adapt to any situation. Thank you also for letting us learn our own lessons. Then Pawan, our biggest cheerleader. Thank you for always having an open ear and a helping hand, and most importantly, trying to keep us out of jail. And to all the other instructors, Lex, Bug, Warwick, Nicola, Thank you for your guidance, patience, and for sharing your professional experience. You have shaped us into more aware and disciplined testers. Thank you. Now to our families, partners, and friends. Thank you for your support and understanding in this intense period. A spark in the most difficult moments. We definitely could not have done this without you. Now, 2025 Alpha. You reached the first checkpoint. Now, senior class, and the most experienced guardians of all the survival techniques. PNFQ is a lot of work, but it's as fun as it seems. You're a great team of professionals, really. Keep working as a team, back each other up, and choose a class leader to target every now and then, because also that is important. Now, guide the new junior class through the magical world of the 7-part paragraphs. Now to the 2026 Bravo. You're about to start the most interesting and unpredictable experience of your careers. My biggest piece of advice is to ignore the fancy plot of stress versus time that Matteo is going to show you in a couple of weeks, because the course is demanding, frustrating sometimes, but there is a reason why you're here. Good luck, guys. And I'm sure you will enjoy the satisfaction at the end when you will be standing here next year. Finally, colleagues and friends from the 2025 Bravo. I think our journey speaks for itself. I know we all miss the balcony in classroom 3. Thank you. Tash, danke, dankjewel, dziękuję, grazie. It's been an honor to face this challenge alongside you. To conclude, I'd like to leave you with the principles guiding the service in the Italian Air Force that, for some interesting coincidence, fits so well to the flight test world. First of all, professional excellence. Second, respect. Third, exemplarity. Fourth, dedication to service. And most importantly, moral integrity. Thank you. And now, if I can ask the guy from the 2025 Bravo to come, and also our president, because we have a gift for you. Just a present, yeah. It's a present, yeah. Like Christmas.
Take a picture. Thank you very much. Jeff?
Well, what an amazing night. This, I have to admit, is my favorite time of the year. And, you know, the greatest privilege I have outside of occasionally getting to fly with the students when Maria lets me out of my office is being here and honoring the students. And it's just it's a great thing to see so many smiling faces. I'd like to close by recognizing a lot of people that made tonight possible, starting with the Hellenic Center, their staff, the food. As usual, it's been amazing. The service is wonderful. The facility is beautiful. The food's great. And they've done a great job supporting us year in and year out. So thank you so much. Thanks again to Kelly for a wonderful speech and presentation. You know, normally we only expect them to inspire our graduates, and I think you've inspired this entire room. That was really amazing. So thank you for a great job. A special shout out to the ladies that put all this together, Maria, Diane, Veronica, Jennifer. There's so much that goes to this, and it's easy to take for granted, but when you consider you got to do invitations and programs and seating charts and certificates and diplomas and awards and the attention to details crazy. And thank you so much. You guys do it so well, and you make it look easy, and I can rely on you 1,000%. So thank you for a job well done. I'd also like to recognize Chris and Diego. They're the audio-visual team here, but more importantly, they're the guys that connected this to the worldwide interweb so that the family and friends and colleagues that weren't able to be here could watch this live via streaming. And so thank you for that, Chris. I'd also like to thank the staff. You know, you guys worked many, many tireless hours working with the students, you know, in the classroom, in the labs, in the simulators, of course, in the aircraft. And you just give so much of your time teaching and coaching and mentoring and sharing your experiences, and that's invaluable. And I really, really want to thank you for your tireless professional dedication. It makes the difference for these students, and I really, really appreciate that. And then I'd also like to echo Dario's comments to another group of people that work tirelessly behind the scenes, and that's all of our aircraft technicians, you know, the quality people, the parts people, Josh and life support. Frankly, this school couldn't exist, couldn't run without you. And you know, if you think we have a flight at 7 o'clock, they're there an hour or two before getting the aircraft ready. After the last flight, they're putting the aircraft down. They're doing the services, the inspections, the maintenance, dealing with the FAA, and you guys do it flawlessly, so thanks for all that you do to keep the school running. To the graduates, congratulations. I hope you're enormously proud of this accomplishment, because I can assure you I am, and the staff is. And as Kelly said, you're entering a very small, very elite group of professionals, and you should be very, very proud of that. It's a small group. I can assure you that you will run across each other, and it's a very tight-knit group. We ran across an example of that. Katarina's father is a flight test engineer in the German forces, and he attended the French test pilot school at Nepner, and his classmate was our very own Luca Campello, the school president. And it's just amazing. This will happen time and time and time again. You'll go to a conference, you'll go to a meeting, and I promise you it'll happen. So one thing I want to assure the students is, you know, this has been a tough year. We're really proud of you, but I can assure you that you're very well prepared for any assignment that you're going to be taking on in the future. Some of you are going to be involved in working legacy aircraft, installing new systems, new engines, new equipment to improve their performance, improve their reliability, give them new mission capabilities. Some of you are going to have the opportunity to work and influence next generation aircraft, their design and their flight test. And then others of you are going to have the opportunity to do new and emerging technology like Kelly. And whatever you do, I can promise you that you're well prepared and you'll succeed. And some of you will be future leaders in flight test. So before I let you go, I have 3 charges that I hope you'll carry with you as you start your new careers. One is to stay curious and to continue learning. You know, as we've seen in tonight's presentation, aerospace is moving and moving and moving, and it's always changing. And it's incumbent on you to understand the new technologies, the new equipment, the new systems, how they work, how they're supposed to work, how they interface with the aircraft, how they interface with other systems. And that might require you to take a flight test technique and to modify it, or to create a new flight test technique. All to say, just because you've graduated from here doesn't give you a license to stop learning. So stay curious and always learn. Point number 2, integrity. You've heard some of us talk about integrity in the past, particularly Hooter. And I would argue that that's the most important thing that you need to carry forward. Your technical skills are without question. You wouldn't have been admitted to this school. You wouldn't have graduated from this school if you didn't have technical abilities. But all that's lost if you don't do everything with the utmost integrity. Your leadership is counting on you to do your test reports, your test planning, your test execution, factually, truthfully, without bias, because your decisions and your recommendations are really important. And if they can't trust you, that message is lost. So integrity has to be at the forefront of absolutely everything you do. Point number 3, I'm reminded of a saying from my home state in Texas. Always remember to dance with them that brung you. There's a lot of people that helped get you through this school. They were there when you needed to be lifted up. They celebrated with you when you had your little celebrations of, passing a test or a check ride. They probably gave you a kick in the butt a time or two when you needed some motivation. But now that you've graduated, when you get home, it's your turn to give back and support them and to help others. So take the time to do that and always remember to dance with them that brung you. So with that, I wish you my warmest congratulations. I wish you Godspeed on your travels home. And I wish you blue skies and fair winds as you start your new careers. One more round of applause for the graduates. Class is dismissed.